good evening to the Under-18 team. I'm Vaishnavi from Grade 10 Silver Oaks Thunderbirds, and I'm very delighted at the opportunity given before me. If you want me to highlight one thing about the Under-18 IAS that excites me, it gives me nostalgia about the people I'll meet, places I'll go, and the experience I'll gain, and also just generally being a part of the Under-18 team. I believe that the Under-18 IAS is all about people higher than you, people lower than you, and making decisions about them. And most importantly, learning to deal with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you too are a person. I would challenge myself every day, discover more about everything, and once I finish that, only then will I make decisions for the better of the Under-18 team. Coming to the third part of this interview, we are given a situation. Tomorrow is the governor's lunch with the under-18 IAS officers. The governor's office has announced that only under-18s can attend, no principals, parents, or professionals. But unexpectedly, a few guests, like principals and career professionals, were already invited and are expected to come. We are responsible for calling them and informing them that they cannot attend. How do I handle this situation? I believe that honesty is something that the world lacks today. Corruption and lies is what prevails just because it's the easier path, even in a situation like this. What I would do in this situation is to schedule another meeting with the principals and officials and guarantee that their importance is not compromised. While this can also be turned into a win-win situation, because while we schedule another meeting with them, we can learn new things with them one-on-one, and perhaps even take a podcast, which is another asset to the under-18 shows department. Coming to the next part, the under-18 Olympics date conflict. There's a conflict about when to conduct the under-18 Olympics. One group strongly wants December 2nd and 3rd, while the other insists on December 20th and 21st. Both of them have valid reasons: exams, availability, venue, and personal plans. We are responsible for bringing everyone on the same page without hurting the other team's morals. How do I handle this? As a strong leader, I would take the simple majority. I would address the minority after and their issues and ensure them that more opportunities are given to them in the future. Because in a democracy, the only people who should be winning are the people. And it is my responsibility as an IAS officer to ensure that in a democracy, the people and the majority should only win. Next, the Rajasthan delay. Me and my team traveled all the way to Rajasthan for an important interview. We've prepared for weeks, taken time off, and even spent money on the travel. However, when we reached there, we're told that the interview has been postponed by 2 weeks. How do I handle that moment, both emotionally and practically? The first step would be to handle my team's emotions, the frustration, sadness, and anger, all the work they've put in, and put aside time from their day activities to contribute to this cause. Next, I would ask the crew who's told us about the postpone to arrange for a compensation for us, because it was an error on their end and not ours, and we did no wrong. On this note, this can also be turned into a win-win situation because we get the chance to meet new people, interact with different cuisines of Rajasthan, and basically just live around Rajasthan a little before we have an interview due in 2 weeks. Coming to the next part, I believe that every department in the under-18 organization sounds like an experience with its own personality. However, above all, I would prefer the under-18 shows because it suits my personality and would bring out my talent, being useful for all. Another example of a win-win situation. I've also had prior experience on the under-18 shows, having taken part in a podcast where I've interviewed an MLC, Grishma Kavali. Other than that, I've had prior experience in anchoring and debate, proving my skills to be true. Next, coming to the seventh part of this interview, why do you think every country has elections instead of just letting experts or top students make decisions? I believe so because without elections, countries would be in turmoil and utter chaos. Your own household, of consisting maybe 4 to 5 people, has billions of clashing opinions with just parents and children. Imagine the state of an entire country. There would be a clash of ideas leading to turmoil. And in this case, a person who rules over the people, who is guided by the people, is suited to be better. The next part, what's one government policy or initiative that directly affects students your age and why? I believe that the whole concept of reservations is a bit outdated and can be tweaked, in my opinion. Nowadays, lower caste systems are given more preference just because they're lower. But if you've seen in the recent coming years, there's been a rapid development in these caste systems, and now Brahmins are given lower preference because they were important back in the days. Now they struggle to find jobs, they struggle to find opportunities in jobs and education. The next part of this interview, if you had to advise the CM to improve one thing in schools, what would you suggest and why? To keep it short and simple, I would suggest to make schools more thinking oriented, more like the IB program, and focus less on what students write on the paper but rather on how they answer the question. With that note, I would like to end this interview. Thank you.